Welcome back to the 5 best DFS tips for week 9 with our in-house DFS expert, Jordan Vanek. We're talking everything from quarterback, running back, wide receiver, all the way to the defense on the best plays at each position for DFS. So, Jordan, let's start with quarterback. Who is your QB of the week this week?
Going back to CJ Stroud, obviously last week he was a disappointment, but this upcoming week, it's another matchup where we're going to see a lot of single high coverages, a lot of cover 3 from Todd Bowles, and a team that hasn't switched it up this year. Carolina Panthers, off the bye week, decided we're going to go cover 2. We're going to force him to see 2 safeties deep, and as a result, he handed the ball off to Dameon Pierce and Devin Singletary. Dameon Pierce might not play this weekend, so you're only going to have Devin Singletary. He's not a featured back. So you're looking at Nico Collins and possibly Tank Dell for big games.
I love that. So Nico Collins, Tank Dell would be the way to go with those guys. Yes. What about the running back position? Is this a week to pay up? Is this a week to play it more safe? I mean, this is a really interesting 10-game slate that we have.
Alvin Kamara is just getting every touch, and we've seen the Chicago Bears defense struggle with pass-catching running backs. So for me in this game, obviously we know it's getting to that time of the year where some weather issues might be coming out in Chicago. So for me, Alvin Kamara is a guy that he's going to catch a million passes. And when he does, he's going to be very productive with them. And at the end of the day, I know he's priced up. I know he's popular, but it feels like just an easy plug and play. I know the Raiders have fired their coach. They might be playing a little bit more motivated. Doesn't mean they're going to be motivated to cover Alvin Kamara in the backfield. And I will say a sneaky player for me, Zach Charbonnet at 4,300. Obviously, this past weekend, we saw him be on the field more than Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker was still productive, but Charbonnet was also very productive. And the Ravens' run defense has sneakily not been great this year metrically. We've seen them get beat by guys like Zach Moss earlier in the year. And when teams have run the ball, they've had some success. And the Ravens have obviously been an elite secondary. So for me, I think the Seahawks might lean in on that ground game.
I love that. What about the wide receiver position? Obviously, the most players to choose from. Like, who would be the best option to pay up for this week, and who would be the best cheaper option that someone could be looking for DFS?
So for me, it's AJ Brown. He's been a top 5 receiver this season. Right now, I have him actually as the 5th overall receiver in the entire NFL. The one coverage that Dallas has played all season long. They did it against Jalen Hurts last season in week 6 when they matched up with Cooper Rush. They gave him a lot of cover 1 looks. They weren't afraid to come up and press these receivers. They weren't afraid to come after Jalen Hurts. AJ Brown this year has over a 55% target share and averages 6.4 yards per route run against cover 1 coverage this year. Those 2 metrics are absurd for me, watching AJ Brown dominate pretty much all season long. It's going to get one-on-one opportunities for him, and I trust Jalen Hurts to put the ball up to him, even if he's covered, and he's been coming down with it 9 times out of 10. And at the cheaper wide receiver spot, we saw Kendrick Bourne obviously go down with the torn ACL this past weekend. Demario Douglas stepped up into a full-time route chair. He's 4K. He's against the Washington Commanders defense that's gotten beaten all year long by that wide receiver position. Mario's got a lot of, wiggle to him. He's like a similar play style to Zay Flowers, where he doesn't need the deep target. He just needs the ball in space. And against the Commanders, they've been giving up plenty of it. And they just lost Sweat and Chase Young on that defensive line. So not too worried about their pass rush from the exterior. Obviously, they still got some guys on the interior. And Mac Jones should be able to get the ball out quick to Demario Douglas.
What about the tight end position? I mean, obviously, every week can totally be a crapshoot at the tight end position, but where do you see yourself going this week, whether it's just paying up or just trying to stay cheap for a really good option? I know you mentioned Trey McBride last week was interesting. He obviously was dynamite. Where are we going for this week?
For me, I'm keeping it simple. I'm going to Mark Andrews. Seattle lives in a lot of zone coverages, and when Lamar plays these kind of bigger games, he wants to go to his best option, and Mark Andrews has been one of the better options. Obviously, you can get Zay Flowers into that mix, but again, the Seattle corners with Witherspoon and Tariq Woolen have been phenomenal this season. Their defense is just getting better each week. They obviously brought Frank Clark. They just got Leonard Williams. So for me, I think they got to try to attack those safeties like Jamal Adams. Obviously, he's a guy that can get after the quarterback, being an electric player in the box. But can he cover Mark Andrews? And I'm not sure that that's his best role, which he's probably going to get asked to do. So for me, Mark Andrews is the guy that I'm keeping it simple with at the top.
I love that. And if you're going for defense this week, where is our needle in the haystack for week 9?
Well, we're going to the Patriots defense against the Commanders. DraftKings left them at 2,900, which is just disrespectful to Bill Belichick. Last week, they put him to 2K against the Dolphins defense. That's Dolphins offense. That's understandable. Against the Commanders offense, who has just been sacked left and right. Obviously, against the Eagles, for some reason, they were able to protect Howell a little bit better. I don't see that in this matchup. And again, J.C. Jackson would be in his 3rd week as a Patriot again, and he's been playing lights out this year.
I love that. I cannot get enough of all of those guys at this point, and I think that these are some fire options. You've given out some of the best picks in the business. That's why we're here. But don't forget, we are here every single Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time to talk all things DFS, best options. Don't forget to tune in next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn the bell notifications on, and tune in for more 33rd team goodness coming out each and every single day. Until next time.